You're in bed with Ben Wylen. I'm coming to you live from my apartment in Los Angeles, California, and I'm going to answer some quirky, fun, in-bed questions with you today. What happened last night? Last night was actually pretty wild for me. I was watching a show on Netflix called Big Mouth, which is a cartoon that talks about funny things of kids going through puberty. And I find it hilarious and very accurate for my own life. And I think it's hysterical. And if you like comedy and Nick Kroll, definitely worth watching. What's my top book suggestion to read during coronavirus? I'm actually a pretty big reader. I find that books are the best inspiration for songs, and they just are full of lines that inspire you. My favorite book of all times, and one I reread during the quarantine, is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And this book about finding your true passion in life and discovering your destiny, and your whole purpose is to find your destiny. And it's just incredible and amazing and inspiring, and one of the best books ever. And no matter who you are or what you want in life, this is definitely the book for you. I think you'll get a lot out of it. So check it out. Question 3. What's the strangest thing that ever happened to me at night? This is a tough question. Strangest thing that's ever happened to me at night. Okay. I was on tour a few years ago, driving through New Mexico, and I was going to stay in Santa Fe for the evening. And when I got to the hotel, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was so tired. And I go up to the front desk, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm here to check in. My name is Ben Wylen." And he was like, "Oh, actually, there's a rodeo in town today, and we've given your room away." And I was like, "No, for real, seriously, like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Who has time for this?" And he's like, "No, sir, I'm sorry, sir. The rodeo always takes precedence here, so unfortunately we can't accommodate you." And that was by far the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me in my life. And I'm scarred from New Mexico for that forever. Did you ever wake up from a song idea because you had to write it down? Actually, there's a song on my record called Nicotine, and I had food poisoning. And so I was tossing and turning all night long, getting up intermittently because I just didn't feel well. And I would just roll over, and I would get these lyric ideas, and I would just jot them down on my phone, like in between like being sick and rolling over and waking up. And when I woke up in the morning, I had woken up to this whole song like perfectly versed out. And it was like a miracle. It was the craziest thing I think that's ever happened to me in the nighttime for writing songs. And it was really strange and eerie, and it almost felt like mystical. So I always look back on that, and it was a really cool experience, even though I was really sick at the time. Oh, this is a good question. If an album could become a person, which album would you want to have sex with? Believe it or not, I've actually thought about this quite a lot. I think Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. I mean, it's just a real quirky album. I mean, talk about a kinky sexual experience. I mean, there's like kazoo solos in there. There's like rubber bands flicking. There's all sorts of weird, in my mind, sexual innuendos, lots of sexual toys to play with. It's just an album with lots of possibilities sexually. So that's definitely one that I'd like to investigate. Question 6. The best place I ever slept. So I once hiked through the desert in Israel, and I laid down a mat on the top of a mountain and slept under the stars. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up because the stars were so bright, I could not even close my eyes without, like, you ever close your eyes and there's like a light shining directly on your face? It's like the stars woke me up because they were so bright, and it's like burned into my mind. It's like the craziest thing ever. Okay. Who would you choose to perform a song with in bed? Not sure if this question is sexual or musical, or both. Either way, the answer is Adele. I feel like I often find Adele's music very reflective, and so I'll listen to it, while I'm about to go to sleep, or if I'm like can't sleep at night sometimes, and I like find myself staring at the ceiling and listening to Adele's really emotional, tear-jerking songs. And so I feel like it would only make sense if I was going to perform a song in bed. It should be an artist who I listen to while I'm in bed, and she's like the perfect one. Did you have an item as a child you needed to fall asleep? Yes, I had a stuffed monkey, aptly named Monkey, and I used to like rub my lips on its like fake stuffed animal fur because I just like found it very like relaxing and soothing. And one day my friends came over and hid it in my garage, and I thought I lost it for like 3 months, and I was devastated. And then I found it, and then I was stoked. And even now when I go back home to New York, which is where I'm from, and sleep at my parents' house, I still sleep with the monkey, even though I'm in my 20s. So no shame in sleeping with your stuffed animals. Okay, and the last question is, which monster sleeps under your bed? Well, I actually have a monster that sleeps under my bed named Maurice. And Maurice comes out at night, and we usually slap hands, start by slapping hands. But then, when you least expect it, he blows a whistle, at which point he becomes my personal trainer. I get up, I spring up, I do 10 push-ups, and then he absconds into the night, only to come back at a time you least expect it. And that's what it's like being in bed with Ben Wylen. Thank you so much. Have a good one. People say